Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre. 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga. 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo. 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. AfriqueToday, the best of digital TV.
Hey, Easy, I'm looking to buy a home. I'm wondering now if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession. But the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. It's not going to go down. So like if you wait, you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'll be wasting your time. It'll be more difficult for you because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are 2 ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Monique Sika. Monique Sika. For the 4th edition of All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C., take a rendezvous with the Queen of Afro-Zouk. This Saturday, November 16, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monique Sika. La prestigieuse nuit en blanc de Washington, D.C. est un concept prestige. Tickets disponibles dès à présent. Classique $60, VIP $100. VIP lunch sur réservation. Un traitement spécial et présidentiel rien que pour vous sur tapis rouge. Avec hôtesse à votre disposition pendant toute la soirée. Pour plus d'informations, nous contactez. Contact 240-398-9992, 240-533-6068. All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C. 4th edition, Saturday, November 16. Un événement sponsorisé par AfriqueToday. Africans in diaspora, how do you navigate your country of adoption? How do you stay connected with your culture away from home? Introducing AfriqueToday, free comprehensive guide for Africans in the diaspora. AfriqueToday magazine, actionable info to empower you. AfriqueToday businesses serving the African diaspora. AfriqueToday events, Afro-inclusive events trading near you. AfriqueToday marketplace, handcraft items made by African creators. AfriqueToday classified, buy from or sell to like-minded people. AfriqueToday forum, exchange practical types and advice. AfriqueToday, the African expert guide. We empower communities, create experiences, and we help businesses grow. Visit www.afriqueToday.com today and live an exciting expert experience. Prestige, l'ambiance dans la classe.
Ça c'est la musique de Nelly. The seconds are the mirror that much. That unique, you don't need to be like somebody else. Look at her beauty. No need to change. Nobody needs to validate. You're perfect like you are. See, I love myself. See, I love myself. I love myself, oh, just the way I am. Ils vont essayer de t'apprendre ta vie. La source primaire de ton bonheur, c'est toi-même. Les gens vont essayer d'expliquer qui tu es. Les jaloux vont toujours parler. Ils vont parler, juger, dénigrer. Quoi qu'ils disent, il faut avancer. Dis-le, tu sais bien qui tu es. Aïe, il faut les laisser parler. Il faut les laisser parler. Laisse-les parler. Il faut les laisser parler. Nous on s'en fout, hein. Il faut les laisser parler. Like jalousie, now you go die. 'Cause I don't care, I love myself. You like jalousie, I love myself. Les gâteaux de sauce. Turn them, make them see. Bend 'em, make them see. Say I love myself, oh. Dis-le, j'y aime moi. J'y aime moi, juste comme je suis. Juste comme je suis. Il faut s'aimer. Il faut se respecter. Il faut s'accepter. Like jalousie, now you go die. 'Cause I don't care, I love myself. I don't care. Like jalousie, I love myself. Dîner encore. Like jalousie, now you go die. 'Cause I don't care, I love myself. Like jalousie, I love myself.
Anna Reda, fondatrice de Kairos Force, une nouvelle plateforme 100% vidéo qui va vous permettre de vous mettre directement en valeur et en relation avec d'autres professionnels.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Eve Hercher.
Bonjour, Khadija Garnier.
Bonjour, mon nom est Didier Crève.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Manuel Garnier.
Vous allez me dire, Anna, mais ce genre de plateforme existe déjà. Vous avez raison, mais nous avons fait la différence. Avec Kairos Force, vous allez pouvoir réaliser une vidéo du confort de chez vous avec votre smartphone, votre tablette et votre ordinateur et choisir le décor que vous souhaitez. Un décor sur mesure, comme si vous y étiez dans votre bureau, à la Maison Blanche, à l'Élysée, au Stade de France, pour avoir l'effet de la magie, l'effet waouh. Et ça, vous l'aurez avec Kairos Force. Beaucoup d'options vous seront proposées pour surprendre vos clients, vos prospects et développer votre business.
Avec Kairos, on a effectivement quelque chose qui est révolutionnaire.
Vous voulez participer, vous voulez être les premiers à être visibles et accroître votre business dès aujourd'hui, avant le lancement de la plateforme vidéo. Réalisez votre vidéo en 1 minute 30 via cette plateforme. Il suffit de s'inscrire et de suivre les étapes. Présentez-vous, dites-nous qui vous êtes, ce que vous proposez. Envoyez-nous votre vidéo. Vous allez bénéficier de 3 mois de gratuité et vous allez avoir un feu d'artifice avec Kairos Force. On vous attend, Anna Reda de Kairos Force, avec toute une équipe professionnelle qui est là pour vous guider. À très bientôt.
Hey, Easy, I'm looking to buy a home. I'm wondering if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession, but the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. It's not going to go down. So like if you wait, you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'd be wasting your time. It'll be more difficult for you because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are 2 ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Monique Sika. Monique Sika. For the 4th edition of All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C., take a rendezvous with the Queen of Afro Zouk. This Saturday, November 16, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monique Sika. La prestigieuse nuit en blanc de Washington, D.C. est un concept prestige. Tickets disponibles dès à présent. Classique $60, VIP $100. VIP lunch sur réservation. Un traitement spécial et présidentiel rien que pour vous sur tapis rouge. Avec hôtesse à votre disposition pendant toute la soirée. Pour plus d'informations, nous contactez. Contact 240-398-9992, 240-533-6068. All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C. 4th Edition, Saturday, November 16. Un événement sponsorisé par AfriqueToday. Africans in diaspora, how do you navigate your country of adoption? How do you stay connected with your culture away from home? Introduction, AfriqueToday, free comprehensive guide for Africans in the diaspora. AfriqueToday magazine, actionable info to empower you. AfriqueToday businesses serving the African diaspora. AfriqueToday events, Afro-inclusive events trading near you. AfriqueToday marketplace, handcraft items made by African creators. AfriqueToday classified, buy from or sell to like-minded people. AfriqueToday forum, exchange practical types and advice. AfriqueToday, the African expert guide. We empower communities, create experiences, and we help businesses grow. Visit www.afriqueToday.com today and live an exciting expert experience. Prestige, l'ambiance dans la classe.
morning and welcome to AfriqueToday. I'm your host, Ben Jeju. I have a pleasure today to host two leaders, African leaders, very young entrepreneurs. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today, but mostly concerning about Africa and the involvement of the young African leaders. We're going to have Samuel Surafel, Omega Tawarni. Samuel is the founder of Massa Collabs, and Omega is the Immigrant Community Service Inc. The founder,
Executive
Director. So, Samuel, yes. We're going to start with you. You are the founder of Massa Collabs.
Yes.
Can you tell us what you do with Massa Collabs?
Yes, Massa Collabs is a Silver Spring, Maryland-based advisory that works to support the growth of early-stage for-profit, non-profit, and creative entrepreneurs. We've been in existence for about 5.5 years, working to support everything from agriculture entrepreneurs to creatives to app developers in West Africa. We've also held a lot of ecosystem building activities, be it meetups, to now working collaboratively the last 3 years on the African Diaspora Entrepreneurship Summit.
Okay, thank you. Omega?
Yes,
when it comes to you as the executive director, right?
Yes, so Immigrant Community Services is a community organization that works with refugees and immigrants in the DC metro area. Mm-hmm. We provide services to help them assimilate into the new culture. We provide services to help them empower themselves, mm-hmm. so they can take care of themselves without becoming public charges. So we provide health services, we provide economic development programs. We also provide senior care services to help culturally sensitive programs for the immigrants and refugees in the area. And part of our program, which is what we're going to talk today about, is entrepreneurship, which is part of the economic development portfolio.
Okay, so now we have introduced you both, mm-hmm. about what you're doing with your company, with your activities. The reason why I do the introducing separately is just because you guys came together to work on a typical organization, some things that is there for the African diaspora. Mm-hmm. It's called the AFDES. Can you tell us what AFDES stands for?
Sure. So AFDES is African Diaspora Entrepreneurship Summit. I had to think about it. So it's this is basically an economic empowerment program, right, that is open to Africans, to everybody in the DMV region. Mm-hmm. So we provide this as a platform to help encourage entrepreneurship, to help build on resources for the existing entrepreneurships, and to provide them with resources, assistance, technical assistance, financial resources, or just information that helps them either start their own business, grow the business, or scale it up.
Where the idea came from?
So this idea came from, well, I think the primary organization behind all this was African Affairs Advisory Group of Montgomery County. Okay. They were approached by various partners of the African Diaspora Marketplace this is about 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I think the partners were USAID, Western Union, George Washington, Home Strings, and a few other, the other group and a few other partners. Mm-hmm. So this group of people was looking to help fund projects by African diaspora on the continent.
Okay.
So as a way to transfer knowledge, expertise, and stuff like that. So they called for this competition. They were looking for entrance into the program. you had to be US based and you had to want to set up the program in Africa. So there was a huge response. About 400 people across the country responded, and they went through different stages until they came down to the final 35.
Okay.
So the 35 finalists had to come to Washington for the presentation of the winners. And the partners, USAID and Co, were looking for someone to host. And they chose the African Affairs Advisory Group. And we organized the event for USAID, Western Union and them. And there were winners that were selected. They were given financial resources, cash. They were given technical assistance from the partners, and they went to work on their project. Okay. So that's how this program came about. So in the following years, the original partners were unable to do it, to continue the program. So we, as the African Affairs and the African community, decided to continue the program, but we tailored it to fit our situation. So it is not as huge as the Western Union one with the 400 entrants. So now we have had our version of the program for 3 years. This is the 3rd year now that we are holding and we called it the African Diaspora Entrepreneurship Summit.
So Samuel, if I understand what she's explaining about the AFDES, it seems like you guys trying to have a way to diversify like your activities and the business from other young African creators. Is that right?
It is right. There's such an untapped pool of entrepreneurial spirit that exists within our community here in Montgomery County, which has such I think we just heard this week that almost half of the population in Montgomery County is foreign born, and about 20% of that is the African immigrant community. And many of those are either existing entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. That's just in Montgomery County. If you think about the broader DC region, you can just multiply that number, and then also other parts of the Mid-Atlantic. So we felt that it was important to sort of continue the conversation, continue the programming that provided an avenue for entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs also, to get inspiration, to make connections, to hear from really thought leaders across the spheres of technology, agriculture, health, entrepreneurship, and even from local government that's involved in procurement, so that they can really see the wide range of opportunities that are in front of them.
Okay, so I know a lot of Africans, especially young Africans, they are very dedicated to the continent and try to do a lot of things. But most of the time, they started well by explaining what they want to do. The ideas are there, but the problem is in the long run, they don't stand for what they first say they're going to do. So how do you think you guys can improve the quality of community service or just leadership among the African community?
So we believe by providing programs such as AFDES is the only way we can help the young and the upcoming to get steady on their feet, to establish themselves, and then they can project what they're doing here on the continent. So it is difficult for somebody who's just settled in the US, who's not yet established, to start helping on the continent. You have to be well established in what you do before you can try to help somebody else. So this program is to help our people here to establish themselves, to grow their businesses, to increase their cash flow so that they can have that money to invest in projects overseas. And so we are looking in the the big picture, the long term. We start small, but we think big. So this is the small footprint that we are establishing here now, such that in the future, 10 years from now, this summit will be something we could probably be even holding it on the continent, because that's how we envision this to grow.
How do you deal with the communication? Is the African community aware about what you're doing, what's going on, AFDES and all that?
Absolutely. So we are working with the African Union. The African Union ambassador is actually going to be our keynote speaker. We are in touch with the DC Commission on African Affairs. We have some of their commissioners participating in the program on the panels as speakers. We are also in touch with the Maryland, the statewide African Affairs Commission, the different schools, business schools in the community, in the local community, Bowie State, Montgomery College, and young African entrepreneurs. So we have a wide reach of people.
Wonderful. So let's go to the program. What's going to be happening that day? Remind us the day of the Art Days. Tell us what's going to happen that day.
Okay, so the event is on October the 5th. It's a Saturday, October 5, from 8 a.m. up until 6 p.m. That's the formal program. And it is in Silver Spring at IO Spaces on Georgia Avenue. And basically, as part of the program, we have a multi-pronged approach to the program. We have plenary sessions where we're going to have panelists talk about the different aspects that are associated with entrepreneurship. So we have a plenary session on procurement, we have a plenary session on development, on regulatory affairs, the legal considerations when starting a business. We also have a pitch competition whereby entrepreneurs and would-be entrepreneurs will pitch their products and they get judged. There are prizes to be won. We also have a hackathon where actual entrepreneurs who are in practice are getting a solution for their existing problem, and this is going to be crowd hacked. So those are some of the things. And we have an innovation award for innovative folks.
Very interesting. Where do you stand from that?
So I will be a part with other sort of duties for the organization. I'll be helping with the hackathon, actually helping organize the hackathon portion, working with the local small business, and also bringing together the students that will try to dissect the business problem that the business is facing to come up with an innovative solution. And as well as supporting with sponsorship development and other activities.
Very interesting. This is Sunday Guest with Ben Jejo as a host, and I have here my guests is Samuel Surafel and Omega Tawonesi when we come back.
Want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre, 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga, 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo, 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. AfriqueToday, the best of digital TV.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Guest. I'm with Samuel Thorafel and Omega Tawon FC. Samuel, we were talking earlier on about how we came together with AfriqueToday. It seems like it's a big partnership, came from taking a lot of different entities and African leaders to merge their energy and their vision, work together through AfriqueToday. How the partnership is working and where you want to go with that partnership through the AfriqueToday.
So it's actually quite interesting how we were able to really take something that had the budget of both a leading development organization, a major corporation like Western Union, and accomplish somewhat similar. We're not going to be as huge as Omega mentioned, but to the scale that was possible, but also at the quality level that's the same, with almost a fraction of, actually it is a fraction of the budget that happened. And that was really based upon the goodwill and the collaboration of these entities. Both they were representing the private sector by way of my company and another firm, IO Spaces, the nonprofit community from Immigrant Community Services, as well as from the local government, which we had a liaison, as well as members of the African Affairs Advisory Group who would participate, but then also kind of an ear and almost an indirect connection to different offices by way of this having been born in the African Affairs Advisory Group, which essentially sits as an advisor to the county executive from the African community. So we basically, on the first AfriqueToday, which happened 3 years ago, were able to organize the entire conference, which was it's on most of the clips you can find online, in 1 month with very little, if not, no budget, you could say, compared to the previous one. And that is a testament to the ability for us to really engage each other, find the fit, work together collaboratively, put all our hands in there and execute on something of that nature, which we've been able to do in years following, years 2 and then now in years 3. So in the future, I think really the most important lesson out of this is how you can, when they talk about public-private partnerships, I feel like without even us naming it, that this is a great example of a public-private partnership from these various people and entities of different parts of the for-profit, non-profit sector and government, but doing it with one mission and doing it collaboratively to make it successful.
Wow, I'm kind of impressed about all these that you're explaining to, and we know that the power is unity. And it's very interesting that we realize that young Africans, especially leaders, so they understood before that we need to unite our effort. But seeing you guys doing what you're doing, Omega, how if you have today to explain people what we need to be part of the people that change the world in one unity, in one entity, big entity, what do you have to tell them? I know you guys work hard to get here,
yes,
but there's a lot of background. There's some things that happen in the background. How
Absolutely.
You can give that people that look at it, our viewers, like to know exactly what's going on? How do you get there?
Yeah, so I would say the main thing is fellowshipping, like community, being out there and knowing what each and every person is doing. So for us to put all this together is because there was an existing network. I knew what Mansaco Labs does. They knew what Immigrant Community Services do. We have young African professionals. We see them. So whatever niche or area you are, be visible. So when an opportunity like this comes, people can just pluck you from and bring you together and do it. And that's how we have done it. We know organizations that are doing certain things in community. We know service providers, or we know businesses that have certain lines that are in line with what we we are doing. So we approach those and say, hey, can we partner? This is what's in it for you, this is what's in it for us, and this is what's in it for the greater community. So let's do this. So it's basically doing what you do well, and being visible, and being open to working with others. That's all I can say.
And the quality of the human resources in terms of the aspiration of the diaspora in the U.S. and around the world, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we have a huge base of resources here that are actually underutilized, especially in the diaspora.
Right.
Because we just don't know what is what, where who's doing what. We are fragmented. So if we do it together, critical mass.
Wow. So and now I know you say that it's just service that's going on here in the DMV area. Are you guys planning to extend it to the other states?
Yeah. So I think eventually, as Omega mentioned, the long-term vision is to grow AfGaz and really be something that can be attractive nationally and internationally. Because of its uniqueness and how it's formed, who's involved with it. And scale, we're constantly looking for more sponsors and supporters that can help build that dream. I think Omega will mention a few of the sponsors that we have for this year.
Okay.
But yes.
And eventually sometime we can expect you guys to have a summit in Africa?
Absolutely. That's in the big picture. We certainly, because it's an African Diaspora Entrepreneurship Summit, and we want to encourage that interaction between diaspora and the continental Africans. So we definitely need to do that. And we also want to encourage migration going the other way instead of going this way.
Absolutely.
Because everything is not here. All we need is back on the continent. We just don't know how to capitalize on it. And we want to open everybody's eyes. There are a lot of entrepreneurs on the continent, almost more than here, because in my country, for example, the unemployment rate is very high for various reasons, and almost everyone is a small-scale entrepreneur, whether they are an entrepreneur by choice or by necessity, but they have the skill, and at some point we have to capitalize on that and grow what they know into something that can move the country and the continent ahead.
Wow. And can we know who's on board in terms of the sponsorship and the partnership?
Yes, we've been very fortunate. Montgomery County is a sponsor for us. Life Asset, a local microfinance organization with a large database of micro entrepreneurs, is on board. Mansacore Labs here with Samuel, Immigrant Community Services, and then we have our Wafamba Porter Consulting. We have Bowie State University, and we have a New Wave Technology Company, and we also have I have one other.
And that's probably we come back to that.
Yes, IO Spaces, African Union. So we have a whole lot on our website. By the way, it is afdes.net. So www.afdes.net. We have a list of the speakers, the sponsors, the community partners, and the program.
And the key speaker is the African Unite
ambassador. Yes. So Dr. Arikana Chiwombori Kwao, she's the AU ambassador to the US. She will be speaking at the day. Because they have a program, I think it's called the Wakanda Village, that they are working on, and this ties in line with us. The theme for this event is we are our resources. So if we look within ourselves, we have the ability. We don't have to wait for someone else to come and give us handouts, or like Samuel mentioned, the private-public partnership. Between that, we have enough resources to move ourselves forward.
I always was thinking that we have so many resources in Africa, and Africa, the continent, is a very wealthy continent. So we here as an African, it's always good to see you as a young leader, a young African, Pan-African, working so hard, putting all your energy into one box to make change. So, and we need that change. So in terms of change, potential change, it can happen through AfGaz. other things are you guys thinking to do? I know you are part of a lot of activities, something, a lot of, and you have a lot of energy, and I salute that, so you too. So how you can just mobilize that and bring change in the other part, like especially on youth, and I know that's your area, you work on with the youth, young people.
So I would say in the long run, what we are trying to do is create institutions, because we all know that for any community to move forward progressively, there have to be institutions that are back that community. And we can see from here, especially in the US where we live, there are a lot of organizations that do certain things, that back certain causes, that support certain type groups of people, and it is using the backing of those organizations that these persons progress. And it is something that we don't have because maybe we are new immigrants. We have not established that yet in the community that we live. So what we are trying to do now by AFDES and similar events, and by bringing together the different companies, the for-profit and non-for-profit, we are trying to create institutions that we can rely on, that we can use to mobilize resources, mobilize educational information, and move our people together collectively. So it's an issue of creating institutions. And AFDES will be an institution.
Absolutely. You have the same vision?
I do. And I also sort of look at it from opening up from the business perspective, opening up the funnel to increasing the number of people who can take that risk and say, I have an idea, I have a dream, I want to start this process of entrepreneurship and explore how I can make it happen. And then being able to follow a lot of what Omega was saying, connecting with these institutions for their success. Because at the end of the day, we need folks that create jobs for either their young people or running jobs or making jobs through their companies or others. But we need the jobs that employ people, and only entrepreneurs make jobs. It's a very simple, for me, it's a very simple formula. If you want people to be employed, they need jobs. Who makes jobs? The entrepreneurs or business people. So our main task, if we want to affect the young people and make them be employed and have that, is to help as many people become entrepreneurs as possible, because those would be the ones that employ the young folks.
So what makes a good entrepreneur? Because if I want to be an entrepreneur, is some things, but being a good entrepreneur that really successful, how to become one of those?
Well, I'll tell you this. There's a lot of factors that will involved with that. Both your ability to sort of find an opportunity, find a problem that needs a solution, take the risk to help provide that solution, and stay the course. Okay, but and then all the skills, finance, and everything that's required to make that happen. But the key one that we miss in our community oftentimes is the ability to collaborate with others where you don't have the skill or the capacity to move your project forward. So if the AFDES collaboration of organizations can be a model for an entrepreneur, that you can come with someone with a different interest or whatever and find that middle ground to move a common project forward, I think that's a great takeaway from what we do.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. So that ability to collaborate and to know what you bring to the table and what you need, because sometimes you show up but you don't really know what you need, so you can't approach the other people who could be able to help you. So know what you offer and what you need somebody else to offer for you. That's collaboration.
Wonderful. We're going to one more time give the information out there for the AFDES, and let us know again, AFDES stand for what, and the date and the time and all that.
Absolutely.
And hope all the viewers will be there at that time.
Yes, so African Diaspora Entrepreneurship Summit, that's what AFDES is. It is happening Saturday, October 5 at IO Spaces on Georgia Avenue in downtown Silver Spring, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's the main event. And then after 6, we have a networking program hosted by IO Spaces. So this is an opportunity for you to come, if you have an idea that you want to bring to life, if you already have an existing business, if you are looking to fund someone with a business, if you're just looking for information, this is a great opportunity for you to come and interact with other people, talk to like-minded folks, and it's it's a win-win for all in attendance.
The website is www.afdes.net, afdes.net.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you for coming. This is Sunday Guest. I was your host, Ben Jeju, and my guest was Samuel Surafel and Omega Tawonervi. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course on Amazon Fire Stick. Thank you, and see you next time on AfriqueToday. Ben Jeju.
Look on Lincoln's economic policies, which again go back to the policies of Hamilton and Carey and others. So there's been a continuous stream of economic policy from Hamilton from the late 1700s all the way up to the current situation. And we're debating it and discussing it today. And it's my proposal that the African countries, as well as my own country, the United States, would go back and adopt what's called a national bank policy, which we've had in this country from time to time. So this is something that has been a driver of economic growth for any country in the world that's applied these principles over the last several hundred years. And most people in the United States know almost nothing about Hamilton. He developed a policy that later became called the American System of Political Economy. That was a name given to it. And it's in direct opposition to what you think is economic policy of Adam Smith and free trade. And all these authors attack Adam Smith and free trade because it's not an economic policy. Free trade is a policy that only empires can survive on. And people in here are probably most familiar with the British Empire. And the British Empire, of course, in Africa, probably more than the French Empire would think, has destroyed Africa. And in fact, many of the problems that exist in Africa today are still left over from the British Empire. Nigeria is a case I'm very familiar with, Sudan, Kenya, most of South Africa, Southern Africa. So the difference in the policy comes from a different conception and intention. Hamilton's view was that credit, not money, but credit was the key to developing the growth of an economy. That money may be something you possess and you have that comes from the past, but credit is something you issue for the future. And in fact, money itself, viewed in simply monetarist terms, is not useful. I mean, people may think they possess something when they have money, but they don't really possess very much, because really what an economy depends on is the physical products that that economy produces: food, housing, electricity, etc. And basically what Hamilton's view was that if you're going to have a larger view of economics, if you're going to have a strong nation, then you have to have people who have the material standard of living in terms of housing, clean water, electricity, food, so that they would have the leisure to actually think about the best national policy for their country. Democracy is not simply about who goes and votes. Democracy is about having educated citizens who can discuss and debate among themselves what is best for the future of their country and the future of this world. So there is no difference between economic development and the development of a nation. No country except an empire has ever developed in what we have recorded history by free trade. Free trade is always a method of suppression, rape, destruction, and looting. Has nothing to do with actual economics. And in fact, the sole most valuable resource, most valuable economic resource, which Hamilton and all these writers understood, is the human mind. Development of the human mind is the greatest resource, because from the human mind you have the creative imagination and ability to discover new scientific principles in the universe, which lead to new technologies. And new technologies lead to new methods of increasing what these guys all call the productive powers of labor. To make your economy more productive comes from science, scientific discoveries. So all economic policy should be to develop an economy and develop a society that develops the human mind. And this is what Hamilton's intention is, and all these followers' intention. I mean, in fact, they talk about the capital of the mind in the same way you talk about capital, the same way you talk about nature. And the start of this comes in our country, the United States, in the For us in the United States, it starts in the late 1700s. But prior to that, you had people that you may not be familiar with, such as Gottfried Leibniz, who was a great philosopher of the 1700s, Jean-Baptiste Colbert of the 1600s in France, and they had similar ideas, but Hamilton concretizes them in this unique form in the United States. And he was an aide-de-camp during George Washington during the Revolutionary War. And so he was an economic genius. And he actually emigrated, since there's a big issue in the United States is immigration. He was an immigrant from the Caribbean to come to the United States. And Washington recognized his genius, Alexander Hamilton. And he came to the United States, joined the Revolutionary War, was Washington's aide-de-camp. Even though he was 20 years younger than Washington, he was like a teenager during the Revolutionary War. And Washington commissions him to form an economic system for the United States. And so he writes 4 reports. He writes a report on credit, he writes a report on banking, he writes a report on manufacturers, and then he writes a report in defense of his proposal for a bank. And these 4 reports are written between 1789 and 1791, and they form the core conception of how the United States was going to develop. And I'll go through some of the specifics in terms of what he did, but just to give you an idea of his intention, I'll just read a couple of quotes, not too many. How many people here are familiar with the Federalist Papers? Yeah, they were a series of papers written by Hamilton, Madison, and Jay to convince the people of New York to vote for the Constitution. And they're absolutely brilliant in discussing the principles of government, which unfortunately many of my American citizens today have never read and actually would have difficulty reading because the language is very elevated. So Hamilton writes the very first Federalist paper. So these are being discussed like in the New York Times in New York, prior to the New York State adopting the convention, the Constitution. And if this gives you an idea of what Hamilton is thinking, it has been frequently remarked that it seems to have been reserved for the people of this country, by their conduct and example, to decide the important question whether societies of men are really capable or not of establishing good government from reflection and choice, or whether they are forever destined to depend for their political constitutions on accident and force. So he's saying, to start off the Federalist Papers, we Americans have to make conscious decision about what kind of government we want to have. And this, of course, means we have to have, as I said, thinking Americans. The other aspect of Hamilton's economics, which is not understood, and I get into a lot of interesting discussions in Africa about this, is the role of the state. The fact is that since free trade says there's no state, it's laissez-faire, and we'll let the markets decide. Well, frankly, in the words of Joe Biden, that's malarkey. It has no truth whatsoever. The free markets are controlled and they destroy, they don't develop. The state has a role, not to control the country, but the state has a role in helping nurture and issue the credit necessary for its development. And of all the African leaders I've been studying, well, Kwame Nkrumah had a conception of this, and in more recent period, it was the former, now deceased Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Meles Zenawi. If you read his books on attack on neoliberalism, he understood that the state has a role. In fact, the Ethiopian economy, I've been there several times, studied the economy, written reports on it for the Ethiopians. They are more conscious of this policy of the state than any other country in Africa right now. And I think they have the right approach. Because the question of credit, where do you get credit from? I'm not talking about citizens getting credit from the credit card. I'm talking about the state actually issuing credit, what we call the public sector, to promote necessary investments in the future of the country for the welfare of the citizens. And this can only be done by investments that countries make in the present for the future. And so if you're thinking about infrastructure, which is my area of specialty in Africa, how do you get infrastructure? The government has to issue the credit. Now, people would say that's inflationary. It's not inflationary. If the credit is invested in infrastructure, that actually leads to an increase in the productivity of the economy, then the wealth produced more than pays for the credit, providing the credit is not usurious. And this is a key conception. The United States has gone through several periods where we've had a national credit policy. We had under George Washington, John Quincy Adams, Lincoln, McKinley, Franklin Roosevelt, where the government issued public sector credit. And actually it's in the U.S. Constitution, in Article 1, that the government has a right to issue credit. But now the propaganda that comes out says, no, you can't issue credit, you have to borrow from a bank, a commercial bank. Well, no country, for the welfare of its people, should ever be held hostage to a commercial bank. So one of the things that I'll just go through briefly is, as Hamilton set up a national bank for the United States in 1791. Very controversial. Well, yeah, of course. Because he was a major proponent against slavery. He joined the Free Africa Society, and of course he was, quote, not even considered a white man, because he actually came from the Caribbean. So he set up this concept of a national bank, where the bank would be working with the government to create credit for the development of industry, agriculture, and infrastructure in the country. And he got attacked by people like Jefferson and Madison for saying, no, this is violating states' rights. And Hamilton wrote a beautiful defense, which Washington asked him to do, saying that the creation of a national bank was a sovereign act. Because if you look at the Constitution, the preamble, which is the best part of our Constitution, says to provide for our posterity and welfare and defense of our country. And so Hamilton said, using the principle of the general welfare, the government has a right to create another institution for the purpose of generating the welfare of the country. So there are really two different economic conceptions here at stake. One is making money, which is free trade. Looting, making money, what is it called? Buying low, cheap price, selling dear. We've seen it throughout Africa, throughout the whole colonial period, the post-colonial period, the IMF neoliberal period. And then there's another conception that says, no, money is not really what we're interested in. We're interested in increasing the physical wealth of a society. How much food is there produced and consumed? How many megawatts of electricity are produced and consumed? How many railroads do you have per square area of your country? These are measurements of physical economy, which are not money. So real economy is not dependent on prices. Stock markets, to me, are useless. I like the fact the Ethiopians have still outlawed a stock market in their country. I think that's a good decision. There was a lot of pressure on them now to change that. They have been holding out against the IMF World Bank policies, although the new president, Abe, is getting a little bit soft on these issues. But nevertheless, they have held out against these kind of policies. Credit is something different. Credit is how do you make a decision to invest today that will increase the wealth of your economy 20 to 40 years from now. So a real economist, just like a real statesman, would be saying to himself, what do I want my country to look like in 1 to 2 generations? And this is very clear with some of Kwame Nkrumah's writings, especially if you look at, I think, United We Stand, or We Must Unite. It was very clear in there. So you have to think about what is going to exist, maybe after you passed away, maybe not, but certainly 20 to 40 years in the future. So you have to be thinking about the future all the time. Any great leader thinks about the future more than the present, because the future tells him what to do in the present. And that's the way, and that's the credit enables you to move from the present into the future. Not how much money I made today day trading in Wall Street. I mean, personally, I don't make any money, which is a problem, but I'm not, for me, it's more important to actually have an economy than have money. And so one of the things, I'll just read you another quote from Hamilton, 1795, in his reports to Congress, how he discusses credit as opposed to money.
And all that's based on an ideal society.
Well, it's based on what society should be, and can be, and has been at various times in its better moments.
It seems like today's society seems like it might get trapped.
So say it. Well, the culture in the United States is collapsing. I mean, our last great forward-looking statesman was John Kennedy, and that was over a half century ago. So Hamilton writes on credit, quote, in 1795, so the country's just formed, Washington's just become president 4 years or 5 years earlier. Public credit is among the principal engines of useful enterprise and internal improvements. As a substitute for capital, it is little less useful in gold or silver, in agriculture and in commerce, and in the manufacturing and mechanic arts. It is a matter of daily experience in the most familiar pursuits. One man wishes to take up and cultivate a piece of land. He purchases it upon credit. In time, he pays the purchase money out of the produce of his soil, which has been improved by his labor. Another sets up in trade. In the credit founded upon a fair character, he seeks and often finds the means of becoming at length a wealthy merchant. A third commences business as a manufacturer or a mechanic with skill, but without money. It is credit that enables him to procure the tools, the materials, and even the substance which he stands in need until his industry has supplied him with capital. And even then he derives from the established and increased credit the means of extending his undertakings. And Hamilton's view is that, don't forget, we were 13 agrarian colonies with no industry. Almost all the wealth in the United States was produced from agriculture. And Hamilton knew that was insufficient. He wanted to see the United States have a manufacturing, urbanized, industrialized society, of which agriculture would benefit from the mechanization and technology that would come from the manufacturing sector. But he envisioned, which did take place, a massive shift of our employment from the colonies to now most of our employment is in industry. on science when we were actually practicing it. So this was a direction that he wanted the country to go. Now, just to get into some of the specifics, because this is a little tricky, so I'll just try to keep it simple. The United States, when we were done with the Revolutionary War, we had about $75 million in debt. The American soldiers and citizens had lent money to the various state and local governments, $40 million. $25 million the states borrowed so they could function, and then $10 million is owed to foreigners. So $75 million then is a fortune. We're talking about 1783. So Hamilton devised a means which united the country and took the debt and made the debt into capital. And this is where his genius comes in. It is amazing. So what he did is he said the federal government, our new government under George Washington, will assume this entire $75 million debt. To pay that debt back, we would need $1 million a year just in debt service. So what he did is he took out another loan, and he used that loan as a means of then the people who had the certificates of the $75 million debt, they could then purchase certificates of this new debt. And so the new debt would serve as a way of consolidating all the different debts they had. And he, instead of getting 6% interest, which they had promised, he said, look, for the benefit of your country, take a cut and we'll give you 4% interest on your return. So all the debt certificates they had, they could buy loans of this new debt. So this began to uniform the country and uniform the currency. So the government then also stipulated, and again it's in Article 1 of our Constitution, that the government can collect taxes, collect tariffs, impose duties. Tariffs for the right reason. So he stipulated that $600,000 would come from the revenues collected in these various means, including the sale of land, to begin to pay down the debt. He said debt is never a problem if you provide a means of extinguishing the debt. It's never a problem. So anyone who says going to debt is a problem, it's not true. Usurious debt, yes. But government debt at 2 to 3% interest rates, or concessionary debt, is perfectly legitimate, because you're not trying to make a fortune by taking someone's money, you're creating debt to issue credit. So Hamilton basically unified the entire debt with another loan, and he allowed all the people who had these certificates of debt from the $75 million to purchase this new debt, and they would get paid 4% interest on it. Then he did something that was totally revolutionary, which is he formed a national bank. We never had a national bank. We had all separate little banks, Bank of New York, Bank of Pennsylvania. He said, no, we're going to have a national bank. We're not going to get rid of these banks, but we're going to have a national bank. And the bank would start off with $10 million in capital stock. $2 million would come from the federal government, the government at the time. $8 million would come from people using their debt certificates to buy stock in this bank. So the capital stock was $10 million. The United States government was tied to the bank because the government gave $2 million. Plus, 1/4 of the 24 governors, Board of Governors, were appointed by the federal government. The rest were private. But the bank would be a private bank. Well, there would be a private bank. It would be partly funded, owned by the people who put the stock into it, and not like the Federal Reserve today, which is owned by private banks. This would be an operating commercial bank. It would be an operating commercial bank jointly regulated by the federal government. So the government would regulate the bank. The bank was not allowed to trade in securities, was not allowed to buy other people's debt, had to have its books looked at by the federal government. So Hamilton tied the national welfare of the country to this bank, which was a commercial bank to make money by lending credit to American citizens to build the canals, to build the industry, to build the farm. And over time, each of the bank would issue notes to the people who put their debt into the bank. So the bank notes became for the first time a national currency in the United States. And this bank ran for 20 years, from 1891 to 1811, until Andrew Jackson killed it, and then it was brought back. And there's constant fight over this. Germany adopted a position similar to this on the National Bank. Japan, in the Meiji Revolution in 1861-65, they had members of these American system economists advising Japan. The Tsar of Russia picked up on this program. Japan, and today, China is actually applying aspects of this program, where you actually have support from the government to commercial institutions, but just given the support to actually lend the money for the purposes of infrastructure and industry, not paying back debt, not investing in day trading on the stock market, not trading in securities, which is what, about $5 trillion days traded in the world, most of it in the city of London. And so this conception of creating a bank for the interest of promoting industrial manufacturing capability in the United States actually worked. And the proof of it is when the United States applied these principles, there was actually substantial, significant growth. When we had presidents who opposed it or destroyed it, you saw economic downturns. Now, it took a different form all the time. So Lincoln did things differently. He created the greenbacks. The greenbacks became a national currency that allowed investment in infrastructure. And if you know about Lincoln's programs, it was all about internal improvements. Internal improvements, internal improvements. And of course, the great, Val and I were just discussing, Lincoln, probably our most favorite president, during the midst of the Civil War, where he's facing the most difficult decisions of hundreds of thousands of Americans killing each other, he nevertheless launched the East-West Railroad. The East-West Railroad became the greatest development for the United States at that time, uniting the country across two oceans, and became copied immediately by other countries. And immediately Russia built the Trans-Siberian off of the East-West Railroad. But Lincoln created greenbacks. Roosevelt, I wasn't around during Roosevelt's time. I mean, I might be older than many people in this room at 68, but I still wasn't around Roosevelt's time. But from reading all his works, he created something. He used a Reconstruction Finance Corporation, and he channeled billions of dollars through the RFC into rebuilding the United States, and used, quote, public sector credit. This great Tennessee Valley Authority, which transformed the whole Appalachia sector of 9 states in Central America, transformed the country. And this was even done as recently as we saw it on the John F. Kennedy. Different form, but Kennedy used federal money for infrastructure. He was following Roosevelt's example, building all these dams in California, Nevada, Colorado, which produced electricity, which produced irrigation. And of course, his greatest accomplishment was the space program, where we took federal money to build things that would never existed anywhere, to get rockets and men on the moon, which revolutionized our economy. The science and technology from the space program returned $14 to every dollar invested. Now we have this discussion by this president of going back to the moon in 2024, colonizing, industrializing it to go to Mars, which I support completely. And these types of endeavors, where you're pushing a man to the limits of scientific discovery, are the solution, provide all the solutions here on Earth. I'm convinced, personally, I'm going to be writing a paper on this shortly, that the space program, which would include, led by China and the United States, but supported by Russia and India, because we all have now rovers on the moon, but a real, genuine, aggressive space program by the 4 powers, we could solve the problems of the Sahara Desert, which are, because we would find the technologies to do it. But just going back and ending on the question of the role of investment in infrastructure, this is what lifts an economy and transforms an economy from its present state into a future state. And I'll just give you a concrete example. Val and I have been discussing this for a while. I was at this conference on Lake Chad. Lake Chad is drying up. It's not drying up because of man-made environmental problems. It's been drying up for centuries. So, the fact is the lake has collapsed many times before we had any economies to speak of. It was 5,000 years ago, it was 1 million square kilometers. Now it's about 1,300. But at this conference I spoke at the UN, which was supported by the Nigerian mission, my proposal, which I spoke at in Abuja in February with President Buhari and others, is a project to bring water to recharge the lake called Transaqua. So you would take the excess small amount of water from the Congo River Basin, 5%, and build a canal up to the Chari River. And the Chari River would release the water into Lake Chad, and you would return the lake to where it was in 1963, which is only 25,000 square kilometers. Today it's about 1,500. So this is a great project. And at the conference in Abuja last year, it was called the Kwame Nkrumah Pan-African Project, because you would affect 12 nations. All the nations of the Congo River Basin, about 6 or so, all the nations of the Lake Chad Basin. And you'd be affecting about 1/3 of the African continent.
Hello and welcome to This Time Africa. As you know, This Time Africa is a platform that showcases our African men, African women, our beauty, culture, education, our future leaders, politicians, and much, much more in the dish. But the question always is, what's on this time? All right, on This Time Africa today, our clock faces Cameroon, where we are talking about bringing the world together through film. Bringing the world together through film. And to have this discussion here on the show, I have with me Clara Ekeke. Is that right?
That's right.
From the House of Jelly. Welcome to the show, Clara.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Dr. Matilda.
All right. You do look like a movie star. Are you a movie star yourself?
Well, thank you very much for the compliment. And again, thank you for having me. To answer your question, no, I am not a movie star. I'm more interested in the production, so the behind-the-scene aspect, and also bringing people together through events.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So how did your passion start about movies? I just told you a little bit about myself before the show. All I do is talk, okay? So whether I'm a motivational speaker, as a pastor, as whatever I speak, okay? So how did your passion start about promoting movies? Is that what you do? Can you just let us know a little bit background?
Yes, so growing up back home in Cameroon, you know, I was always interested in the arts, big reader. Music is a big part of my life, even up to today. Always interested in arts and have artsy friends. So I was part of that, but you could say officially it started a few years back. I believe it was 2016-17. A friend of mine who's a filmmaker actually asked me if I could assist him in story development, bringing a web series to life. So I jumped at the opportunity, and one thing led to another. I met another filmmaker from Cameroon, and he was showing his film here. So it was just a select group of people who got to see the film, but I thought it was quite interesting. So I asked him, would you be interested in, you know, bringing more people together to really see it? Because people are interested in seeing films like that. And he said yes. So I started with that film.
That's very good. That's very good. So that's a very good background, though. You met this guy, and you're trying to put, and people are, now you have more people that are in that group. Is that what is called the House of Jelly? How did you get that name?
Yeah, people do ask that question. So Jelly, as I spelled it, you know, because it has different spelling also. Actually, the meaning of it, it's a storyteller. So it comes from West Africa.
Okay.
You know, the jelly we used to go around in the village telling people the stories.
Oh, is it like the drums thing that people,
Yes.
So that's why it's spelled D-J-E-L-I.
Yes.
For the viewers and listeners who may not understand.
Exactly.
Okay.
And some people spell it just J-E-L-I,
Okay.
which it means the same thing, you know.
Okay.
So in modern times, it's kind of like being that person who shares stories. Although I personally haven't made a movie yet, but it's through movies that we tell our stories, just like, you know, jellies pass down stories from one generation to the next. So now we have film that we could use as a medium to showcase our culture, values, and things of that nature.
And I am definitely going to touch on that. So what is the goal for the House of Jelly? You just touched on it, but just to expand on it a little bit.
Yeah, so the goal definitely is to bring people together, because I have a Pan-African vision for House of Jelly. So people from the Black world, whether it be Africa, the Caribbean, or elsewhere, we tend to be a little isolated from one another, you know, and my lane, so to quote unquote, forgive the, you know, colloquial term, but my lane is really not politics, it's culture. So I feel like with culture, people barriers or defenses are lowered,
broken, yes, exactly.
You know. So it's a mean really to bring all of us together by showing films. It's education, it's about entertainment, so that we can truly understand each other as a global Black people, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And in fact, somebody, I was sharing this, that I'm going to have this interview, and somebody said, oh wow, that's good, because movies is a very great way to create a dialogue between people.
Yes,
because if somebody, I don't know the movie stars here, sorry, I don't watch movies all the time, but let's say for instance there's a movie, what was the thing that the boat that sank? What's the name of that movie again?
Which one?
One of the movies of the.
Well, like, let's say like Black Panther.
Black Panther. Okay, I watched that one.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
See, I don't know, but so let's say Black Panther. A lot of people came together in that movie theater. And I heard dialogue. I heard people just were into it. So movies do create that pathway for dialogue.
Absolutely. And it didn't matter whether you were from Brazil, the Caribbean. It was about us, about showcasing us in a positive light, because, you know,
in a positive way,
you know, so really that is the goal, because we show films that are fiction as well as non-fiction, you know. So again, it's about creating dialogue. It's again going back to the name house. You know, back home we used to have those huts. You know, and it's about creating community. So that we can sit together and really pay attention to one another and share our stories, because the tagline is "What's your story?" Because we all have one.
We all have one.
Know.
Yes. I like that. What's your story?
What's your story? Yes.
So how has it been for you just getting other African movie stars or writers? Do you do just African movie stars or writers and stuff like that, or just?
So as of right now, this particular series, no, it's not just films from Africa. I have film from Jamaica, from Brazil, which actually is showing on Saturday. So again, it's that Pan-African aspect of things. You know, it's bringing people films about us, by us, for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's very good, though, that you're going across the board and to bring other people in.
Definitely.
So tell me, why is it important to promote a movie before it is released? Why is it important?
So, two things. Some of these films have been released and some have not. It's about really, again, I can't say it enough. It's about showing us, telling our stories. I can't put enough emphasis on telling our stories, because we all know our stories have been told by others.
Yes.
But it's about taking ownership of who we are, the narrative about us. You know.
But because when you tell your story, your story is better told and heard by you, from people by you, when you tell it, it brings out all the sense of truth that is within you, and your thoughts, because I write sometimes. I write like poems. I write plays. Maybe we'll turn them to movies one time.
Yeah.
I have them in my archives. But when a writer writes, he or she goes down into the depth of what he or she is feeling, probably at that time, her surroundings, like you say, bringing down the barriers as well, bringing down those invisible barriers.
Yes.
So I think that's so very important. Now, do you promote every theme, every movie? Because certainly it's not because the movies from Africa, so therefore, what is it that catches your eyes? What is it that make you want to participate?
To select that particular film?
Yes.
So it has been the stories. Some of the films I had seen already. There are 2 of them that I worked on as a translator, French to English. That filmmaker that I was telling you about, who was kind enough to, offer me the opportunity to showcase his film. So it's about the story, it's about where it comes from, and how people may receive it, or the themes that are touched up on the movie. Yes.
All right. So, and talking about that, do you do like brand marketing? How do you market?
So it's been quite interesting since the first time that we did an event, it was a single film. This time there are several films over the course of a few months. It's been quite interesting. So the marketing side, it's been word of mouth, going to the different festivals, because we know summertime here, it's busy. So going to all the different African festivals and even non-Africans, meeting people one-on-one, the different businesses in a select place, and also social marketing.
Social marketing.
Social media.
Social media marketing. Yeah, you're right. Social media. And so social media marketing, everybody's doing social media marketing. How do you set yourself apart? How does House of Jelly set itself apart so that people really go to their shows or their premieres?
That is a very good question, and it's one that with every event, you learn something. With every event, you try to, okay, what are the takeaways? Where can we tweak things? I believe that the thing that sets us apart, it's the fact that, to my knowledge, we're the only people actually showing films, Afro films, like I call them, in the area. Wow. So that sets us apart. But as far as what everybody is doing, we have yet to find that one thing. But it just, we're doing the promotions like Facebook and Instagram and things like that. So yes, what sets us apart is the fact that we are the only one that I know of doing this.
All right. So what social media programs do you use for that kind of marketing?
So Facebook is one. Facebook has turned out to actually be a very good tool.
Yes.
And also Instagram. So advertising on those 2 platforms, and also we sell tickets on Eventbrite.
Oh, okay.
Eventbrite.com. Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes.
That's very good. So you know what? Hold your thoughts for the next question, because I want us to, in this next segment, discuss what's coming up. You said it's something coming up on Saturday, and I want the viewers and the listeners to hear this. But yes, we're right here in the studios of AfriqueToday. This is This Time Africa, and we are here with Clara Ekeke, who is from the House of Delhi, and we are discussing bringing the world together through fame. You stay right there. We'll be right back.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guest with Elaine Pierre, 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga, 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo, 5:30. Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. AfriqueToday, the best of digital TV.
Welcome back. Bringing the world together through film with Clara Ekeke from the House of Jelly is what we're doing right here on This Time Africa. So Clara, what's next for the House of Jelly? What plans do you have next?
So the immediate plan is an event that we're hosting on the 28th of September, which is Saturday.
Okay.
And it's a screening of a Brazilian film, an award-winning Brazilian film. Though it's several years old, it's still relevant in that it really talks about the legend of this, in the 20s, whether it was in Brazil here, the plantation, the slaves were subjected to atrocities, as we know, but there was this man called Besouro, who, leads a revolution against the plantation masters and liberates his people. And all of this, it touches upon Afro mysticism, so using the earth and our deities, because we know in Brazil it's called, in many parts of the world it's called different things, Santeria, Candomblé, but it's essentially the Yoruba traditions of the Orishas.
The Orishas,
the Orishas,
okay.
yeah. It took me a while to get there.
But it's okay, I understand.
Yes, but so using those powers, kind of superpowers, to liberate his people, which I think it's a story again that we need to see. Us being empowered. And
do you believe in the superpower?
In the superpower, how?
Of our Africanism, our Afroism?
I do believe that because, before the colonizers came, our people believed in something.
Yes.
So it's just a beautiful display in that particular film of what the Orishas, powers are able to do in support of these slaves. So that is what we have going on, and it will be at...
I think that's interesting.
Yes.
Where is that going to be at?
It will be at Impact Silver Spring, so we partner with Impact Silver Spring.
Oh, yeah.
Located in downtown Silver Spring, and all the information is on our Facebook page.
What's your Facebook page?
So it's facebook.com/House of Jelly 1, number 1.
Okay.
Yes. On Instagram, it is Instagram. You can search for @House of Jelly. Yes. So It's a very interesting film. I can't tell you everything.
I know. Don't spill out. Don't spill out everything.
No spoilers.
No spoilers at all. No spoilers at all. But so this is so interesting that you cut across boundaries, even up to like a Brazilian movie. How are you doing that?
Finding the film.
Or are they finding you because you know what you're doing?
Not as yet. Dr. Matilda, thank you for the vote of confidence. And we will get there, definitely. But as with everything, when you start, you have to run after things,
Yes.
So I can't even tell you, it was over 20 films, because you have to find who made the movie, whether it's through the production or it's through a distribution house. Different things that you have to find out to reach the right person who will give you the right information so you can tell them what you want to do, and so they can give you the permission and tell you exactly what you need to do in order for you to show the film. There are several steps involved.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Okay. But I'm glad that this is happening on September 28th and possibly after that several more will come. But you were talking about film distribution. So just doing my little research, I know that there's a difference between film distribution or promotion. Can you lead us into that a little bit?
So film distribution it's quite interesting because depending on the country, things are set up differently, better in some countries than others. We know in Africa, for instance, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But distribution essentially is when a company will take the film. So you as a filmmaker, let's say you're the filmmaker, producer, you made the film and it's ready to go, right? Then I'll come along, I say, oh, okay, well, I really like this film. I'll help you get it in theaters.
Okay.
And I'll buy it from you. Then turn around and go talk to these different theaters to market it.
Okay.
Whereas promotion can be done by the distribution house or it can be done by independent filmmakers, which a lot of people are nowadays with technology. And so, yeah, that's the difference.
So if somebody should say House of Jelly, what would you say is your brand?
House of Jelly is a Pan-African cultural house.
Okay.
And what we're doing, again, the vision is to bring people together.
Okay.
In order for us to have a dialogue and learn from one another and share our stories.
Yes, I think it's important that it's a Pan-African thing because people can come and also learn from us, learn from you what's going on in our culture, and then in the same vein, we can go back and learn from what they're doing. For instance, the Brazilian, we didn't know that they have, well, I kind of know, they have some of the cultures that we share, but it's so very important. So, go ahead.
Yes, definitely, because, outside of Africa, Brazil, especially in the northern part, in Salvador, Bahia, the state of Bahia, it has a high concentration of blacks. I think the highest outside of Africa.
Yeah.
And so Black culture is very, very much alive there. So some continental Africans don't know that.
Yes.
So it's using film, it's a means to educate people and say, hey, we are also in Brazil, we are in Venezuela, there are Afro-Mexicans, there are Afro-Colombians, so it's like, okay, let's learn from one another, and then they in turn, when they see films about Africa, they can learn about what is happening in different parts of Africa. So I think that's the beauty in it.
It is definitely a beauty. Why would you say, for me, because I sense that there is Africa is trending. Africa is really trending. Like, I'm so buzzed up about that. Like, Africa. Why? What's going on? What's going on in the film industry, in politics, in economics? Why do you think Africa is buzzing, is trending right now?
May I share a personal opinion?
Sure, please.
I think Africa is the future.
Okay.
Yes, Africa will lead the 21st century in different ways. If you look at, not only the immigration, right? Despite everything, the negative that we see, but we also see the contributions of African people wherever they are, whether it's in Australia, the US, Canada, wherever. So of course, we take us with us.
Yes.
Wherever we go, we take us.
Yes.
So you can't really dissociate from your culture, you know. So in that sense, and you want to promote yourself, you want to share your story with other people. So it's a great thing that it is trending, like you said, but I'm just hopeful that it's not just going to be a trend, but a way of being, a movement that is exactly, and that will sustain itself.
It is going to sustain itself. So one more time, how do we get in touch with you for the movie on Saturday, or even in the future? Probably there's somebody, a filmmaker that is listening to you and wants to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Please share that information with us.
Absolutely, because in the future also we're looking at production of films. So, but that's in the works.
Okay.
So for now, the event is on the 28th of September. It will be at Impact Silver Spring, and the address is 8807 Colesville Road, and that is in Silver Spring, Maryland. So facebook.com/House of Jelly 1, and on Instagram you can search us at House of Jelly.
And your name again?
Clara Ekeke.
Clara Ekeke. Merci, madame. All right. Thank you very much. This is where we wrap it up, because, you know, you are the best person that can tell your story. Tell the African story and be proud. This is where we bring the curtain down. If you want to reach her, you have all the information. You know what to do. We meet on Sundays at 4 p.m. That's where you can watch the show. But otherwise, please take the time, go to AfriqueToday.com, or watch us on Twitter, on YouTube, or on Facebook. What more? If you have your flat screen, of course, Amazon, you can have your Fire Stick and watch us there as well. It's been a nice time with you as always. I'm your host, Sia Matilda Vanga, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, Easy, I'm looking to buy a home. I'm wondering if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession, but the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage, and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. It's not going to go down. So like if you wait, you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'd be wasting your time. It'd be more difficult for you, because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are 2 ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre. 4 p.m. This Time Africa with Sian Natilda Banga. 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo. 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
Anna Reda, fondatrice de Keros Force, une nouvelle plateforme 100% vidéo qui va vous permettre de vous mettre directement en valeur et en relation avec d'autres professionnels.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Eve Hercher.
Bonjour, Khadija Garnier.
Bonjour, mon nom est Didier Crème.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Manuel Garnier.
Vous allez me dire, Anna, mais ce genre de plateforme existe déjà. Vous avez raison, mais nous avons fait la différence. Avec Keros Force, vous allez pouvoir réaliser une vidéo du confort de chez vous avec votre smartphone, votre tablette et votre ordinateur et choisir le décor que vous souhaitez. Un décor sur mesure, comme si vous étiez dans votre bureau, à la Maison Blanche, à l'Élysée, au Stade de France, pour avoir l'effet de la magie, l'effet waouh. Et ça, vous l'aurez avec Keros Force. Beaucoup d'options vous seront proposées pour surprendre vos clients, vos prospects et développer votre business.
Avec Keros, on a effectivement quelque chose qui est révolutionnaire.
Vous voulez participer, vous voulez être les premiers à être visibles et accroître votre business dès aujourd'hui, avant le lancement de la plateforme vidéo. Réalisez votre vidéo en 1 minute 30 via cette plateforme. Il suffit de s'inscrire et de suivre les étapes. Présentez-vous, dites-nous qui vous êtes, ce que vous proposez. Envoyez-nous votre vidéo. Vous allez bénéficier de 3 mois de gratuité et vous allez avoir un feu d'artifice avec Keros Force. On vous attend, Anna Reda de Keros Force, avec toute une équipe professionnelle qui est là pour vous guider. À très bientôt.
Monique Sika. Monique Sika. For the 4th edition of All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C., take a rendezvous with the Queen of Afro Zouk. This Saturday, November 16, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monique Sika. La prestigieuse nuit en blanc de Washington, D.C. est un concept prestige. Tickets disponibles dès à présent. Classique $60, VIP $100. VIP lunch sur réservation. Un traitement spécial et présidentiel rien que pour vous sur tapis rouge. Avec hôtesse à votre disposition pendant toute la soirée. Pour plus d'informations, nous contactez. Contact 240-398-9992, 240-533-6068. All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C. 4th edition, Saturday, November 16. Un événement sponsorisé par AfriqueToday. Africans in diaspora, how do you navigate your country of adoption? How do you stay connected with your culture away from home? Introduction, AfriqueToday, free comprehensive guide for Africans in the diaspora. AfriqueToday magazine, actionable info to empower you. AfriqueToday businesses serving the African diaspora. AfriqueToday events, Afro-inclusive events trading near you. AfriqueToday marketplace, handcraft items made by African creators. AfriqueToday classified, buy from or sell to like-minded people. AfriqueToday forum, exchange practical types and advice. AfriqueToday, the African expert guide. We empower communities, create experiences, and we help businesses grow. Visit www.afriqueToday.com today and live an exciting expert experience. Prestige, l'ambiance dans la classe.
Hey, Easy, I'm looking to buy a home. I'm wondering if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession, but the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. it's not going to go down. So like if you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'd be wasting your time. It'd be more difficult for you because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are 2 ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Bailar conmigo, la libertad con todo, porque tu bienestar es lo que importa, mi amigo. Cantaré, mi vida es tu vida, si se puede, si se puede. Come on, let's do it together. Cantaré, mi vida es tu vida, si se puede.
Yeah. Look, we are the forgotten, like lost knowledge. More mileage, we bled for blood diamonds. Yeah, we bled often, sacrifice and offering. Life can get cold like you live in Boston. But if we come together, keep it running, then maybe one day we can make some progress, ayy. Maybe one day we make some progress. So before we roll the dice, better be cautious, ayy. Better be cautious. Now look at us, we flossing. I don't wanna see my brother in the coffin. We need less hate, more loving.
Cantaré, mi vida es tu vida, si se puede, si se puede. Come on, let's do it together. Cantaré, mi vida es tu vida, si se puede, si se puede. Come on, let's do it together. Incondicionalmente todos amamos esta tierra América, tierra de los valientes, casa de la libertad, todos somos iguales. ¡Arriba! Baila, 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 baila conmigo. Si se puede, si se puede. Come on, let's do it together. Cantaré, mi vida es tu vida. Si se puede, si se puede. Come on, let's do it together. Come on, let's do it together. Come on, let's do it together.
Anna Reda, fondatrice de Kairos Force, une nouvelle plateforme 100% vidéo qui va vous permettre de vous mettre directement en valeur et en relation avec d'autres professionnels.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Eve Hercher.
Bonjour, Khadija Garnier.
Bonjour, mon nom est Didier Krebs.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Manuel Garnier.
Vous allez me dire, Anna, mais ce genre de plateforme existe déjà. Vous avez raison, mais nous avons fait la différence. Avec Kairos Force, vous allez pouvoir réaliser une vidéo du confort de chez vous avec votre smartphone, votre tablette et votre ordinateur et choisir le décor que vous souhaitez. Un décor sur mesure, comme si vous étiez dans votre bureau, à la Maison Blanche, à l'Élysée, au Stade de France, pour avoir l'effet de la magie, l'effet waouh. Et ça, vous l'aurez avec Terroscope. Beaucoup d'options vous seront proposées pour surprendre vos clients, vos prospects et développer votre business.
Avec Kairos, on a effectivement quelque chose qui est révolutionnaire.
Vous voulez participer, vous voulez être les premiers à être visibles et accroître votre business dès aujourd'hui, avant le lancement de la plateforme vidéo. Réalisez votre vidéo en 1 minute 30 via cette plateforme. Il suffit de s'inscrire et de suivre les étapes. Présentez-vous, dites-nous qui vous êtes, ce que vous proposez. Envoyez-nous votre vidéo. Vous allez bénéficier de 3 mois de gratuité et vous allez avoir un feu d'artifice avec Kairos. On vous attend à Nareda de Kairos avec toute une équipe professionnelle qui est là pour vous guider. À très bientôt.
Hey, Easy, I'm looking to buy a home. I'm wondering if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession, but the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. It's not going to go down. So like if you wait, you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'd be wasting your time. It'd be more difficult for you because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are 2 ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre, 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga, 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo, 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. AfriqueToday, the best of digital TV.
Oh Sometimes you try so hard, give people what they want, yeah, nothing back. Make me feel somebody else, waste my time, break my heart. I gave my all, you don't know, but I gotta move on.
Anna Reda, fondatrice de Kairos Force, une nouvelle plateforme 100% vidéo qui va vous permettre de vous mettre directement en valeur et en relation avec d'autres professionnels.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Eve Hercher.
Bonjour, Khadija Garnier.
Bonjour, mon nom est Didier Crève.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Manuel Garnier.
Vous allez me dire, Anna, mais ce genre de plateforme existe déjà. Vous avez raison, mais nous avons fait la différence. Avec Kairos Force, vous allez pouvoir réaliser une vidéo du confort de chez vous avec votre smartphone, votre tablette et votre ordinateur et choisir le décor que vous souhaitez. Un décor sur mesure, comme si vous étiez dans votre bureau, à la Maison Blanche, à l'Élysée, au Stade de France pour avoir l'effet de la magie, l'effet waouh. Et ça, vous l'aurez avec Kairos Force. Beaucoup d'options vous seront proposées pour surprendre vos clients, vos prospects et développer votre business.
Avec Kairos, on a effectivement quelque chose qui est révolutionnaire.
Vous voulez participer, vous voulez être les premiers à être visibles et accroître votre business dès aujourd'hui, avant le lancement de la plateforme vidéo. Réalisez votre vidéo en 1 minute 30 via cette plateforme. Il suffit de s'inscrire et de suivre les étapes. Présentez-vous, dites-nous qui vous êtes, ce que vous proposez. Envoyez-nous votre vidéo. Vous allez bénéficier de 3 mois de gratuité et vous allez avoir un feu d'artifice avec Kairos Force. On vous attend, Anna Reda de Kairos Force, avec toute une équipe professionnelle qui est là pour vous guider. À très bientôt.
looking to buy a home. I'm wondering if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession, but the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. It's not going to go down. So like if you wait, you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'd be wasting your time. It'd be more difficult for you because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are 2 ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre, 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga, 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo, 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. AfriqueToday, the best of digital TV.
Monique Sika. Monique Sika. For the 4th edition of All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C., take a rendezvous with the Queen of Afro-Zouk. This Saturday, November 16, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monique Sika. La prestigieuse nuit en blanc de Washington, D.C. est un concept prestige. Tickets disponibles dès à présent. Classique $60, VIP $100. VIP lunch sur réservation. Un traitement spécial et présidentiel rien que pour vous sur tapis rouge. Avec hôtesse à votre disposition pendant toute la soirée. Pour plus d'informations, nous contactez. Contact 240-398-9992, 240-533-6068. All White Prestigious Night of Washington, D.C. 4th edition, Saturday, November 16. Un événement sponsorisé par AfriqueToday. Africans in diaspora, how do you navigate your country of adoption? How do you stay connected with your culture away from home? Introduction, AfriqueToday, free comprehensive guide for Africans in the diaspora. AfriqueToday magazine, actionable info to empower you. AfriqueToday businesses serving the African diaspora. AfriqueToday events, Afro-inclusive events trading near you. AfriqueToday marketplace, handcraft items made by African creators. AfriqueToday classified, buy from or sell to like-minded people. AfriqueToday forum, exchange practical tips and advice. AfriqueToday, the African expert guide. We empower communities, create experiences, and we help businesses grow. Visit www.afriqueToday.com today and live an exciting expert experience. Prestige, l'ambiance dans la classe.
Anna Reda, fondatrice de Kairos Force, une nouvelle plateforme 100% vidéo qui va vous permettre de vous mettre directement en valeur et en relation avec d'autres professionnels.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Eve Hercher.
Bonjour, Khadija Garnier.
Bonjour, mon nom est Didier Crave.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Manuel Garnier.
Vous allez me dire, Anna, mais ce genre de plateforme existe déjà. Vous avez raison, mais nous avons fait la différence. Avec Kairos Force, vous allez pouvoir réaliser une vidéo du confort de chez vous avec votre smartphone, votre tablette et votre ordinateur et choisir le décor que vous souhaitez. Un décor sur mesure, comme si vous étiez dans votre bureau, à la Maison Blanche, à l'Élysée, au Stade de France pour avoir l'effet de la magie, l'effet waouh. Et ça, vous l'aurez avec Terosforce. Beaucoup d'options vous seront proposées pour surprendre vos clients, vos prospects et développer votre business.
Avec Kairos, on a effectivement quelque chose qui est révolutionnaire.
Vous voulez participer, vous voulez être les premiers à être visibles et accroître votre business dès aujourd'hui, avant le lancement de la plateforme vidéo. Réalisez votre vidéo en 1 minute 30 via cette plateforme. Il suffit de s'inscrire et de suivre les étapes. Présentez-vous, dites-nous qui vous êtes, ce que vous proposez. Envoyez-nous votre vidéo. Vous allez bénéficier de 3 mois de gratuité et vous allez avoir un feu d'artifice avec Terosforce. On vous attend à Nareda de Terosforce avec toute une équipe professionnelle qui est là pour vous guider. À très bientôt.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guest with Elaine Pierre, 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga, 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo, 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. AfriqueToday, the best of digital TV.
Salut à tous, je suis le docteur pasteur Nathalie Kamsu. Ne ratez pas de vous connecter désormais tous les dimanches à 17h sur cette nouvelle émission du Transformation Point sur AfriqueToday. Je suis déjà très excitée de partager avec vous les secrets de la parole de Dieu et les révélations du Seigneur Jésus-Christ qui seul peut vous transformer, vous relever de vos chutes, vous restaurer, vous encourager, vous fortifier et vous donner le véritable succès dans tout ce que vous avez toujours rêvé dans votre vie. Les témoignages des messages que je diffuse quotidiennement et des prières sont très nombreux ici aux États-Unis, en Washington et au Maryland, en Europe, en France, en Belgique et en Allemagne et au Cameroun également et dans les milieux divers. Les vies sont transformées quand nous savons appliquer les secrets de la parole de Dieu à nos vies. C'est ce que nous faisons en apportant cette nouvelle édition à AfriqueToday. La mission que le Seigneur Jésus m'a confiée est très très grande et vous ferez désormais partie de ce grand témoignage en vous connectant tous les dimanches à AfriqueToday à 17h. Téléchargez déjà votre application ou le app AfriqueToday. Vous pouvez aussi aller sur le website et vous connecter à l'adresse suivante www.afriquetoday.com. Que le Seigneur vous bénisse abondamment selon ses promesses de Matthieu 6,33 qui dit « Cherchez premièrement le royaume et la justice de Dieu et toutes ces choses vous seront données par-dessus tout. » Amen. Allez, à dimanche à 17h sur AfriqueToday. Merci.
These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days.
Salut et bienvenue dans cette nouvelle émission de Transformation Point avec Salvation of Christ sur AfriqueToday. Nous allons mettre un terme aujourd'hui dans notre série des promesses de Dieu en Jésus-Christ. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous promet sa présence. Nous retenons que la plus grande promesse du Seigneur Jésus-Christ envers nous, c'est sa présence à travers son Esprit Saint qui nous donne le pouvoir et la puissance d'accomplir de manière victorieuse toutes choses selon sa volonté. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous promet une nouvelle vie. Nous retenons que Jésus-Christ nous donne une nouvelle vie de victoire, de réussite et d'abondance. Comme il est dit dans 2 Corinthiens 5:17, si quelqu'un est en Christ, il est une nouvelle créature. Les choses anciennes sont passées, voici, toutes choses sont devenues nouvelles. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous promet également sa paix. Jésus seul peut nous donner la paix dans un monde plein d'incertitudes, d'insécurité, de crimes, de terrorisme et de malheur. Comme Jean 14, 27 dit, le Seigneur Jésus dit, je vous laisse la paix, je vous donne ma paix. Je ne vous donne pas comme le monde le donne. Que votre cœur ne se trouble point et ne s'alarme point. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous promet également son amitié. Dans Jean 15, le Seigneur dit, je ne vous appelle plus serviteur parce que le serviteur ne sait pas ce que fait son maître, mais je vous ai appelé mes amis parce que je vous ai fait connaître tout ce que j'ai appris de mon Père. Nous devons maintenir jalousement notre amitié avec le Seigneur Jésus-Christ, c'est-à-dire avoir une relation personnelle avec lui où il nous révèle les plus grands secrets, comment vivre une vie de paix, de grâce, de bénédiction. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous promet également la réussite. Dans Jean 14, 12, le Seigneur Jésus-Christ dit, en vérité, je vous le dis, celui qui croit en moi fera aussi les œuvres que je fais et il en fera de plus grandes parce que je m'en vais au Père. Et tout ce que vous demanderez en mon nom, je le ferai afin que le Père soit glorifié dans le Fils. Ça, c'est la vraie réussite, mes amis. Faire les œuvres que le Seigneur Jésus-Christ a faites. Personne n'a jamais aussi réussi que le Seigneur Jésus-Christ. Aujourd'hui, nous allons terminer avec ce que le Seigneur nous promet. Il nous promet son amour. Comme il dit dans Jean 15, 9, « Comme le Père m'a aimé, je vous ai aussi aimé. Demeurez dans mon amour. » Le thème de l'amour de Dieu dans la Bible est très mal compris. Beaucoup de personnes sont éloignées et se privent de l'amour de Dieu parce qu'ils se sentent à tout moment condamnés par leurs péchés ou par leurs œuvres. À chaque fois que nous parlons de l'amour de Dieu à travers le Christ, nous avons tendance à mettre cet amour au même titre de l'amour humain qui est conditionnel et qui dépend de ce qu'on fait. L'amour du Seigneur pour nous est inconditionnel et dépend non de nous, mais du sacrifice qu'il a déjà fait pour nous par son amour. Jésus dit dans Jean 15, 13, « Il n'y a pas de plus grand amour que de donner sa vie pour ses amis. » L'amour du Seigneur pour nous est un acquis et se définit au passé. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous a déjà aimés. Jésus est amour. Il aime chacun d'entre nous éternellement et exactement comme nous sommes dans l'état de pécheur, comme menteurs, voleurs, criminels, adultères et autres. Son amour ne dépend pas de ce que nous faisons et ne changera jamais, comme Romains 8, 38, 39 dit. Car j'ai l'assurance que ni la mort, ni la vie, ni les anges, ni les dominations, ni les choses présentes, ni les choses à venir, ni la hauteur, ni la profondeur, ni aucune créature ne pourra nous séparer de l'amour de Jésus-Christ, manifesté en Jésus-Christ notre Seigneur et Sauveur. Nous devons être absolument convaincus de cet amour éternel que rien ne peut changer. Sachant ceci, quand il nous arrive de chuter dans notre marche avec le Seigneur, la conviction de son amour nous relève et nous remet sur la voie droite avec lui. Dieu demeure fidèle dans son amour pour nous, comme Timothée 2:13 dit, si nous sommes infidèles, il demeure fidèle, car il ne peut se régner lui-même. Voici la nuance bien-aimée et la différence. Jésus-Christ nous aime déjà tel que nous sommes, mais pour être transformés, nous avons besoin d'accepter cet amour. Rappelons-nous que Jésus-Christ aime tout le monde entier sans exception, et c'est pour cela qu'il est mort, comme Jean 3:16 dit, car Dieu a tant aimé le monde qu'il a donné son Fils unique, afin que quiconque croit en lui ne périsse point, mais qu'il ait la vie éternelle. Puisque Jésus-Christ est mort pour tout le monde entier, pourquoi donc tout le monde entier n'est pas sauvé? Voici la réponse. Tout le monde entier n'accepte pas son amour et par conséquent, seuls qui croient et acceptent cet amour sont sauvés. Qui que nous soyons aujourd'hui, quel que soit notre mauvais passé ou péché passé, ne nous privons pas de l'amour du Christ. Jésus-Christ a lavé nos péchés et nous rend plus blancs que la neige. Comme Colossiens 2:14 dit, il a effacé l'acte dont les ordonnances nous condamnaient et qui subsistait contre nous, et il a détruit en le clouant à la croix. Alléluia. Prie avec moi. Prie avec moi et répète après moi. Père éternel, je ne vais jamais cesser de te remercier pour ton grand amour pour moi. Cet amour a été si grand que tu as donné ton Fils unique Jésus-Christ, afin que quand je crois en lui comme j'ai cru, que tu me donnes la vie éternelle en son nom. Donne-moi de saisir la signification profonde de cet amour, afin de me laisser profondément transformer par le renouvellement de mon intelligence, afin que je puisse accomplir ta volonté dans ma vie. Toi qui m'as créé, ô Dieu, dans ta bonté infinie, restaure-moi, Seigneur. Je te prie pour tout le monde entier également, particulièrement pour les gens qui ne te connaissent pas, afin que tu touches le cœur de tous ceux qui ne croient pas en toi, afin qu'ils puissent voir ta gloire et accepter ton amour pour être sauvés. Que ton nom soit à tout jamais glorifié, exalté, célébré, adoré, maintenant et à jamais, au nom de Jésus-Christ, notre Seigneur et Sauveur. Amen. Comprenons que les promesses de Dieu sont tellement nombreuses, elles sont inépuisables, elles nous accompagnent même jusque dans la mort et après la mort également pour l'éternité. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ nous promet donc la vie éternelle. Car si le Seigneur nous donne toutes ces merveilleuses promesses dont nous avons parlé et qu'après on meurt pour être perdu, cela ne servirait de rien. À quoi sert-il à un homme de gagner le monde entier s'il perdait son âme? Il y a seulement deux destinations pour tout le monde quand on meurt, l'enfer ou le paradis. Le Seigneur Jésus-Christ, qui est le chemin, la vérité et la vie, a pris beaucoup de temps pour adresser cette question plusieurs fois dans sa parole. Cette question de la vie après la mort est en fait la véritable raison pour laquelle Jésus-Christ, le Fils de Dieu, vient dans le monde pour nous sauver de l'enfer. Aussi brutale et aussi choquante qu'est la réalité, nous avons tout intérêt à embrasser la vérité que de se laisser engrainer par le mensonge. Les faux raisonnements et le doute, le salaire du péché, c'est la mort selon la loi de Dieu. Nous sommes tous pécheurs condamnés à la mort éternelle. Mais nous recevons le don gratuit de Dieu à travers Jésus-Christ qui a versé son sang sur la croix pour nous donner la vie éternelle quand nous l'acceptons comme Seigneur et Sauveur. Cette vie passe très vite, mes amis. Elle est très déceptive. Si vous espérez vivre très bien continuellement, vous allez vous tromper. Au moment où vous pensez que vous maîtrisez les choses et vivez trop bien, vous serez surpris par la vieillesse, la fatigue, la maladie, les déceptions et la mort. Le Seigneur, durant ces moments, sera toujours encore avec nous, même dans la mort, comme il dit dans Jean 11, 27. Jésus lui dit, « Je suis le chemin, je suis la résurrection et la vie. Celui qui croit en moi vivra, quand même il serait mort. Et celui qui vit et croit en moi ne verra pas la mort. » Bien-aimé, le Seigneur a été aussi clair dans sa parole sur la question de la mort et de la résurrection qu'il est nécessaire de comprendre ce qu'il a dit, ou du moins accepter la vérité pendant qu'il est encore temps. Il est donné à tout homme de mourir une seule fois, après quoi vient le jugement. Ne prenons pas le risque, parce que nous avons cru en Jésus-Christ. Au moment où nous allons mourir, ce même jour, nous allons aussi nous retrouver au paradis avec le Seigneur Jésus-Christ. Alléluia. 1 Corinthiens 15, 12 dit, « Or, si Christ est prêché et qu'il a été ressuscité d'entre les morts, comment disent quelques-uns parmi vous qu'il n'y a pas de résurrection des morts ?» Ici, la véritable question de la vie après la mort est posée. Dans 1 Corinthiens 15, 13 à 14, « S'il n'y a point de résurrection des morts, Christ non plus n'est pas ressuscité. Et si Christ n'est pas ressuscité, notre prédication est donc vaine et votre foi aussi est vaine. » Notre foi est basée sur la mort et la résurrection du Seigneur Jésus-Christ, sur son sang précieux. Il est le seul qui a vaincu la mort. Bien-aimés, même questions et discussions auxquelles nous sommes confrontés aujourd'hui ont été anticipées et répondues dans la parole de Dieu. La vérité est présentée et le choix est toujours le vôtre. Notre responsabilité, comme 1 Corinthiens 15, 19, 20 dit, « Si c'est dans cette vie seulement que nous espérons en Christ, nous sommes les plus malheureux de tous les hommes. Mais maintenant, Christ est ressuscité des morts. Il est les prémices de ceux qui sont morts. Nous vivons en pleine espérance, sachant que la fin de cette vie sera le début de notre vie éternelle avec notre Seigneur et Sauveur Jésus-Christ. À lui seul soit la gloire éternellement. » Prions Dieu. Prions Dieu. Merci Seigneur pour tes multitudes de promesses, surtout la promesse de la vie éternelle que tu donnes à ceux qui ont cru en toi. C'est une des plus merveilleuses promesses pour l'humanité. Tu ne désires pas la mort du pécheur, Seigneur, mais tu donnes la vie éternelle en Jésus-Christ à tous ceux qui croient en toi, à tous ceux qui se répandent. Seigneur, scelle cette vérité dans le cœur de tes enfants, afin que nous soyons tous inondés de ta présence, de ton amour, de ton assurance, de ta grâce infinie et de vivre cette vie d'abondance que tu promets à tous ceux qui croient en toi. Merci de nous exaucer au nom précieux de Jésus-Christ, ton Fils unique, notre Seigneur et Sauveur. Amen. Nous voici donc à la fin de Transformation Point avec Salvation of Christ sur AfriqueToday. Accrochez-vous aux promesses du Seigneur. Saisissez-les. Elles transformeront vos vies, jusque dans la vie éternelle, qui est l'une des plus belles et grandes promesses que Dieu nous donne. Ouvrez vos mains maintenant pour recevoir la bénédiction du Seigneur. Que l'Éternel vous bénisse et qu'il vous garde. Que l'Éternel fasse luire sa face sur vous et qu'il vous accorde sa grâce. Que l'Éternel tourne sa face vers vous. Que le Dieu de paix vous sanctifie lui-même tout entier et que tout votre être, l'esprit, l'âme et le corps soient conservés irrépréhensibles lors de l'avènement de notre Seigneur Jésus-Christ. Allez dans son amour, allez dans sa force, allez dans son assurance et passez une agréable semaine et à dimanche prochain dans une nouvelle émission de Transformation Point avec Salvation of Christ sur AfriqueToday. Merci.
Hey, Easy, I'm looking to buy a home. I'm wondering if I should wait till after the recession happens before I decide to purchase.
What's crazy, I get these questions all the time. Everybody asks me this question about the recession. What was unique about the recession in 2008 was that recession was created because of real estate. That doesn't necessarily mean this next recession is going to affect real estate. Even though I don't think there's going to be a next recession, but the last recession happened because people couldn't afford to pay their homes, so they defaulted on their mortgage and the values of the homes dropped. But with this, if a recession should happen, the value of homes might even go up. It's not going to go down. So like if you wait, you're trying to wait for that recession to happen to make a purchase, you'd be wasting your time. It'd be more difficult for you because this is a perfect time right now. The interest rate is low. It's a great economy. Everything's going great. But anyway, if you have any more questions about this, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872. And don't forget, there are two ways you could do this. You can do it the hard way, but it's best for you to do it the easy way.
Monique Sika. Monique Sika. For the 4th edition of All White Prestigious Night of Washington DC, take a rendezvous with the Queen of Afro-Zouk. This Saturday, November 16, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monique Sika. La prestigieuse nuit en blanc de Washington DC est un concept prestige. Tickets disponibles dès à présent. Classique $60, VIP $100. VIP lunch sur réservation. Un traitement spécial et présidentiel rien que pour vous sur tapis rouge. Avec hôtesse à votre disposition pendant toute la soirée. Pour plus d'informations, nous contactez. Contact 240-398-9992, 240-533-6068. All White Prestigious Night of Washington DC, 4th edition, Saturday, November 16. Un événement sponsorisé par AfriqueToday. Africans in diaspora, how do you navigate your country of adoption? How do you stay connected with your culture away from home? Introduction, AfriqueToday, free comprehensive guide for Africans in the diaspora. AfriqueToday magazine, actionable info to empower you. AfriqueToday businesses serving the African diaspora. AfriqueToday events, Afro-inclusive events trading near you. AfriqueToday marketplace, handcraft items made by African creators. AfriqueToday classified, buy from or sell to like-minded people. AfriqueToday forum, exchange practical tips and advice. AfriqueToday, the African expert guide. We empower communities, create experiences, and we help businesses grow. Visit www.afriqueToday.com today and live an exciting expert experience. Prestige, l'ambiance dans la classe.
welcome to the Easy Show. My name is Easy. I'm a real estate agent licensed in the DMV area. If you have any questions about real estate, give me a call. My number is 301-559-2872.
Monique Sika. Monique Sika. For the 4th edition of All White Prestigious Night of Washington DC, take a rendezvous with the Queen of Afro Zouk. This Saturday, November 16, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monique Sika. La prestigieuse nuit en blanc de Washington DC est un concept prestige. Tickets disponibles dès à présent. Classique $60, VIP $100. VIP lunch sur réservation. Un traitement spécial et présidentiel rien que pour vous sur tapis rouge. Avec hôtesse à votre disposition pendant toute la soirée. Pour plus d'informations, nous contactez. Contact 240-398-9992, 240-533-6068. All White Prestigious Night of Washington DC, 4th edition, Saturday, November 16. Un événement sponsorisé par AfriqueToday. Africans in diaspora, how do you navigate your country of adoption? How do you stay connected with your culture away from home? Introduction, AfriqueToday, free comprehensive guide for Africans in the diaspora. AfriqueToday magazine, actionable info to empower you. AfriqueToday businesses serving the African diaspora. AfriqueToday events, Afro-inclusive events trading near you. AfriqueToday marketplace, handcraft items made by African creators. AfriqueToday classified, buy from or sell to like-minded people. AfriqueToday forum, exchange practical types and advice. AfriqueToday, the African expert guide. We empower communities, create experiences, and we help businesses grow. Visit www.afriqueToday.com today and live an exciting expert experience. Prestige, l'ambiance dans la classe.
Je me suis réveillée près de toi encore ce matin. Je t'ai regardé. Je me suis dit, chacun a son histoire d'amour. Mais le mien, je sais pas comment lui dire. Alors écoute, j'ai attendu 10 années pour accepter mon destin. J'ai perdu assez de temps. Ils m'ont dit, tu mentais. Je t'ai poussé quelquefois. Il y a des jours, je t'ai fait pleurer. Mais jusqu'aujourd'hui, tu dis tu m'aimes. À ça, j'ai failli te perdre. Les amis ont parlé, ils t'ont traité d'effoiré. Des gigolos, des gimme boy, hasta la cour, beau palais. I heard them talking about me. All I care about is me. You've seen the proof, there is no truth. You keep loving me, all I can do. J'ai connu des violents, mais l'amour et la tendresse, je l'ai connu dans tes bras. Quand tu dis tu m'aimes, je dis je t'aime. Parfois, il me manque des mots pour te dire à quel point. Il y aura des moments de tempête et des moments de tonnerre. Mais tu violence, mais avec toi, je peux jurer, tu iras. Malgré les années de souffrance et les années d'inquiétude, près de moi, près de toi, on s'est battu jusqu'ici.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, AfriqueToday. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre. 4 p.m. This Time Africa with Sian Natilda Banga. 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo. 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the AfriqueToday app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.